That's what it is.
Oh my gosh. It's just turned into something else.
Welcome back to another week of Netball Chat with Sam.
And Zach. Round two.
Round two.
It's all happening, and hasn't it been a shake-up?
Well, there was a few big blowouts this week, wasn't there?
Yes, there was. Very
interesting.
Very interesting game.
Probably no one would have picked this after Collingwood's massive win in round one.
This was the only game that we've had that was a draw.
And I was...
However, the Firebirds were up by 8 goals at one stage.
Oh, I know.
So, Gretel was quite ill-disciplined in the game.
Wasn't she?
Got done for
She got
contact.
one of these. She got a warning.
She got a warning.
Talking back to the umpire.
Umpire, yeah.
And I noticed in this game, umpire's corner.
Okay, yeah.
Umpire's corner. Lots of delaying play, when they didn't get a call their way, the balls were just flying. They were throwing
she threw the ball
away.
Yeah.
So I think Romelda got a delaying play, Tippett.
Yeah.
And then, Jenna got that caution as well for
yes,
contact.
that's right, she did too.
So there was lots of that intentional delaying play, and the umpires were all on top of it and nah.
Yeah, they were not letting the girls get away with anything.
But it was rough as guts.
It
game.
was. I mean, Medhurst ended up getting a stitch in her leg. She got a needle and thread.
Yeah.
So just as that's.
And then played up again.
Yeah, and then came back on.
Oh, that was so good. It was.
On the bike, warmed up, good to go, came back out.
What about Liz Ellis's call about how Nat can cancel her Botox appointment for next week official on the giant lid?
I made that comment as well, yeah.
I lost it.
Yeah, so Medhurst obviously had blood and swapped with Sinclair.
Yes.
Okay, so how about this? Sinclair is like Katie Nevin's double ganger.
Yeah, she
Don't
is.
you think? They look very similar.
She's got the small, short dark hair.
Yeah, and then wears her hair in the plait like Katie Nevin does as well. Jenna.
Oh.
Once again.
Superb. She was so
defensive game. It was predominantly Jenna and Hinchcliffe.
They played so well.
They played so well.
And they did the switcheroo as well.
And they did the switcheroo.
Last week we made mention of how good Nelson played, but this week, those girls were really getting the tips, touches and turnovers, and making it difficult. And Nelson was a bit rattled. She was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, and they totally capitalised on the situation when Medhurst went off with the line on the lip, and Sinclair came on. And once again, their defence on Shimona, they shut Shimona down. Dee got a full game.
Oh, I know. I was just about to say down the other end. I think Romelda had something to prove after being getting taken off last week.
Definitely, yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, and she had actually a really good game.
She did. She did have a really good game.
What about Romelda's intercept?
I was just about to say. So going back to Romelda, she never defends, does she? She never defends. She's when she starts defending, she's really pulling the socks up. And she went for hands over, and she got the intercept.
It was like a play of the day.
Yes.
I definitely thought with Mentor, she was getting lots of contact calls and obstruction, and lots of whistle in that first quarter. But once she kind of settled down and got into the game, that tussle was on for young and old, and Mentor was getting the rebounds, and she was getting some intercepts and getting the touches. And that's when Collingwood started to make the inroads back.
Yes,
so we can't move on from this game without talking about the wing defences, because Gabby Simpson, Ash Brazel, they were having a wing defence off.
Mama had a good game, but I really think that Ash Brazel's defence sort of shut her down a little bit. I think she was completely...
Kevin Evans was struggling early on too.
I mean, Gabby always is consistent and works really hard and just covers that transverse line there, which she did as per usual. I
think her and Cassidy worked really hard in the midcourt to make those feeds into Nelson really challenging. And I mean, it's our defenders, Jenna and Hinchcliffe, that were getting the accolades and getting the tips and touches. Yeah. But I reckon Cassidy and Simpson did really well just to kind of make that hard for Brown and Rebellion.
That was a really good contest between
Yeah.
Kelsey Brown and Gabby
Yeah.
Simpson, wasn't
I know, they were also in the walls and on the floor.
it? Yeah.
And like they
'Cause
were
the two of
throwing
them are-
foul looks at each other.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it was so intense.
Yeah, it was.
I think if you want to watch one game this week, that was the game to watch, and particularly the last quarter. Like it was just intense.
It was intense, yeah.
Oh,
So, the next game was the Fever and Lightning game.
oh, Fever and Lightning. She's wearing the shirt
Wearing the Lightning shirt.
the
because-
Lightning have brought it back.
Oh my gosh.
They're back. 80 goals, the most goals ever scored in a Suncorp Super Netball.
Well, they've taken the record
Yeah.
from the Fever.
Fever.
So that was the grand final matchup.
Oh,
But
gosh.
God, it was a
live up
different.
to
It was a
expectations, did it?
different story, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The Lightning, the amount of passes that they needed to get that ball into the circle, no pun intended. It was lightning. It was like lightning. It was so quick. Whereas the Fever had to work really hard to get that ball into the circle. By the end of the first half, you know, they had pulled away.
Yeah, well, 22-10 second
By
quarter.
Courtney Bruce was injured, so she was off. That girl Olivia Lewis that was on for Courtney Bruce, she played hard. She really did give it her all. She was in it to win it. We talked about how many, like when Nat Medhurst was playing for the Fever with Fowler Reid, how significant Fowler Reid's entry into the team was last season, right? They went from bottom of the table to the top. So Fowler Reid is still there. They still haven't won a game after
Two rounds.
So, you know,
What's the difference?
what's the difference? It's obviously not Fowler. She's still doing what she was doing last season.
Still putting the shots up.
And
Still
we looked at Nat's
52 goals.
Yep. We looked at Nat's stats of how much she feeds, and I think the breakdown is that, you know, Kayla Stanton, she got rattled, so she was just trying to pass off to Fowler all the time, and Pretorius.
Pretorius.
Like best goal defense in the game. Yeah, I feel like Verity was
The only one moving and shaking on the court.
yeah, the only one that was really still alive on the court. There just seemed to be lots of pockets of things that weren't working.
Well, it's good to see because, like last week, we were a bit worried about them. We were just like, they just didn't seem to be hitting their mark and nothing was happening. So, good to see them.
Everything got ticked off.
And they've silenced their critics from last week. They definitely silenced me. So then, third game of the weekend, Swifties versus Thunderbirds, the T-Birds. And, well, we thought maybe the Thunderbirds were going to show their worth again, but hashtag Swifts New Swifts showed why they are...
You're the only person repping that
No.
hashtag.
Everyone's saying it now.
No,
because
they're not.
they are...
Just you.
The Swifts were just like... had control of the ball, swinging the passes, nothing was, they weren't giving away the ball, they weren't throwing it over baseline, they weren't giving away the held balls, they weren't dropping anything, they knew where Wallace was and Houseby, and they were just nailing it. Meanwhile, the Thunderbirds didn't have those connections. They were throwing balls away, they were throwing balls into Neville Nigel, nobody.
I was just going to say, who's that?
Exactly. Nobody was there. Nobody's home. Just talking about home alone. Nobody's home.
Nobody's home.
The shooters could not get near the post. Glasgow and Falau had to shoot on the edge of the circle.
Yeah.
Thank goodness they're long ball experts because they just could not get to the post. They made a comment about how like the defenders were actually like pushing the shooters into the space they wanted. And I know Tanya Obbs wanted Falau and Glasgow to like actually manipulate the space, but they weren't. And the Swifts were also doing a mid-court press, so they were defending that space and pushing the Thunder into like the middle section of the court.
Oh yeah.
So they couldn't have this access like to the edges or the sides or to the edge of the circle to swing.
Close their channels up.
Yeah,
and make their
like,
options, shut down their options.
So this time Paige Hadley played centre and Maddie Proud played wing attack, and it still like worked fantastically. Maddie Proud was excellent. Wallace and Houseby in that circle. Actually, Sammy Wallace was just like dominating. She got 100% of her shots in.
She's from the UK too, isn't she?
No, she's from Trinidad.
Oh, I ask this every time.
Trinidad, another Caribbean nation.
Can I just like remember?
Sort yourself out. We talked
Yeah.
about Sterling just dominating last week. So Wallace didn't allow her to dominate her. So she was doing a lot of moving around the circle. She wasn't being like a holding
Maybe
shooter.
they analysed her in the week
I think
before.
so. She had to come out of the circle, into the circle,
Yeah.
and the feeds into Wallace were all really flat instead of high balls. So she couldn't get the opportunity
do
to
speckies.
no speckies
jump
this week.
up.
And just so patient, the Swifts. They love that swing ball in. They just weren't
They
forcing
do.
any shots
Yeah,
in.
they
Like
do.
every pass they do is like swing, 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 open shooter in. Like
Well, that's because Ellen Elsby moves so quickly around the circle.
Yeah, and she opens
So
up
they know
space.
that she's going to do that.
It was all Swifts this week. Everything that the Thunder tried to do, they made heaps of wholesale changes. They put Falau into shooter. They brought Shimini back on court. Gusketh came to wing defence. Sterling even had a run at goal defence. Just everything they just didn't have the answers.
They didn't, yeah.
Last game of the week. Again, another annihilation. 3 in a row on a Sunday. Sunday was not good for some teams, was it?
No, and another one of your favourites.
Oh, okay. We need to talk about this. Giants, Vixens. Giants are on the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah.
Like they're on the bottom. They've got 1 point. Like I picked them in my top 4. Like they need like another month of training with Bassett because the connections once again we're talking about the connections aren't there. The connections just aren't there at the moment.
Yeah, but what are the connections? Like let's dissect it. Let's really look into it. Okay, so Jo Harton is used to working a lot, all right? So she works her way into the circle, she finds the space, she pops in, she pops out.
She always works with the moving shooter, Susan Pettit, or with England, she's working with Helen Houseby.
Yes.
She's actually probably used to playing in a goal shooter position a bit more, where she can drive from the circle.
Yeah, and she likes driving on that baseline as well when she plays shooter. But the defenders managed to, like Mannix and Weston, oh my gosh, they were just, well, that's why they're in the diamonds.
Yeah.
So they were shutting Jo Harton down in the circle, so they were stopping her from getting in, and then that little pop out thing that she does where she makes the space, they were cutting that out. So the only option for them was to pass into Bassett, but the balls going into Bassett were like, and I mean Bassett's so tall and she's still jumping and she's still missing the pass because Kira Austin's throwing these massive big loopos and that like the pass was just not it wasn't happening. Kim Green 200 games. Okay, which is awesome.
Yes,
but they didn't walk away with the win for her. No, unfortunately. She actually went into centre after she came off with her injury from wing attack.
Yeah, which is a shame because Palmy was having a starting run at centre.
Palmy played the first half at centre, which was awesome. Jamie Lee stayed wing defence. When the Vixens did get the turnovers, though, they were able to capitalise on it and put that ball away quite quickly. The game was played and won in that circle by Weston and Mannix. My question for the Giants moving forward is, are they compromising Harton's shooting for Bassett?
So Harton, if we look at previous years, used to take a lot of shots. She used to share the shooting load with
Susan Pettit,
but this year, so far in the game, she seems to be feeding
the
Bassett rather than just going for the shots. She only did. Jo Harton only had 10 from 11 goals, really, which normally she's shooting twice as many goals as that. Yeah.
I'm hoping that they continue this momentum because my money is on the Vixens to take it out and make it all the way through. I mean, if we were to go off this week, I would say that it would be a Vixens Lightning final.
Vixens Swifts! Vixens versus Swifts. Swifts new Vixens. That could be cool.
No, to what I said I would talk about this week, which is the Nissan Net Points.
Yes.
Which I feel is kind of
it's kind of shaken up things, the whole team of the week, and they quite often do a during the Collingwood Firebirds game, they did like a mentor v Remelda, and they put up the points and at that time. Or like they'll put up the team's points during the game.
And then at the end of the game you see who the top net points, 6 net points belong to.
So essentially what happens is champion data are the ones that are taking note of everything that's happening during a game. So intercepts, bad passes, centre pass receives,
turnovers, rebounds,
goal assists, feeds. Yes, everything. So every possible thing that happens on a netball court, from goals to the other end to rebounds or defensive rebounds or offensive rebounds gets a point.
Or there's a point system.
So the things that carry the most net points are intercepts firstly on 10 points, and then followed with deflection with the gain or so. The reason, I guess, why they carry so much points is because they're so difficult to come across. Like a clean intercept, all good to get a tip, all good to get a deflection or a rebound and stuff like that. But to
get
just a clean intercept, hardest thing to do. And that's why Shamira Sterling's was so high last week.
In the first week, because she managed to get so many.
Intercept. So everything has like different points that you need to watch out for, and you can also get negative points as well. So you
get a missed goal and
there's a point for a goal, but then there's also negative points if you miss the goal, and then if you miss the goal, and then there's a rebound. Which is
kind of why it's okay then to actually put a shooter and a keeper's net points up against each other, because because you get points for shooting, you get points.
You lose points if you miss the goal.
Exactly. So then it's still kind of quite equitable. And then obviously they do that Suncorp Super Team of the Week. Based on who got the biggest and most net points. So per position. So obviously all the shooters are up against each other. Whoever gets the most net points of the shooters is the shooter of the week. So it's very similar to our fantasy.
But we just do it based on who we like. Whereas this is kind of really...
This is statistical
data.
Based. Interesting. New twist on things. And you can check out the net points guide and stuff on the Suncorp Super Netball page and stuff like that.
They've got a running total of the most Nissan Net Points of the week. Oh, wow. Paige Hadley of the season. Isn't that cool?
Oh, no, 191 and a half.
So Janelle Fowler has the most net points so far, Paige Hadley second, Laura Langman third, Kate Maloney fourth, and Shamira Sterling fifth. I guess it's good for all those people who like the analytics and like the kind of exactly how people are doing, and it just creates Zach's with stats. It just kind of like creates a new element for people whilst they're watching the game. Tips.
Oh, okay, tips.
Tips, yes.
Yeah, tips.
So no, neither of us guessed the draw.
Yeah.
But I got the other three because I tipped the Swifts and you didn't.
So I only got 2.
Yeah. Okay, round 3. First game, Thunderbirds v Vixens. I'm gonna go the Vixens.
Yeah, Vixens for show.
Swifts versus Fever. I'm gonna stay with my Swift girls.
I think that the Swifts. I'll go with the Swifts.
Whoa! Back in the girls in red. Okay. Whoa! Queensland Derby.
Yes.
Lightning v Firebirds. Ooh.
I know this is gonna be tough. I'm gonna go draw.
You can't guess a draw.
Why not?
I'm gonna go with the Birdies actually. I'm gonna throw a spanner in the works, and it's time. They're gonna have a win.
Okay.
So you're gonna go draw.
No, I'm gonna go. I think the Lightning, but yeah.
And then Giants Magpies. Oh no.
Pies.
I
just get over it. Just accept it's over.
No. Joe.
Apart from Joe,
man,
She's still got the World Cup to shine,
Alright.
to be a shining star.
Yeah, look.
A beacon of hope.
I think the last 2 weeks have shown that the Magpies are in form, so the Giants don't have it quite yet. So Magpies.
Final suit time.
Time. Now we'll do our fantasy team, and then we'll I'll bring up the comparison to the team of the week.
We'll research the net points.
Yeah.
I'm going to start goal shooter. Shimona Nelson.
Ooh.
Yeah. Goal attack, Steph Wood. Wing attack, Laura Sherian. Well, there's lots of L's in that team.
There is.
Because then my centre is Langman. Laura Langman.
Yeah, lots of Lauras.
Lots of Lauras. Wing defence, Ash Brazel.
Yeah.
Yep. Goal defence, Pretorius. And, goalkeeper, Emily Mannix.
Interesting.
And you know what's interesting about the Mannix thing is that I have been her fan for a long time.
Yeah.
And I was like, when are they going to put her in the Duns? When are they going to put her in the Duns? Well, she's in the Duns now.
Yeah. Well, my team of the week, my attack end is all red. So, goal shooter, Sam Wallace, 100%. Goal attack,
I see red,
I see red. Wing attack is Maddie Proud. Centre, I went with Laura Langer as well. Langers. Wing defence, Ash Braz. Goal defence, I went with Purple Heart Kim Jenner.
Oh, yeah.
And then goalkeeper, I also went with Emily Mannix.
Yeah.
The defence was tough. So we need to compare that to the team of the week.
Yeah, there won't be as much red as you think.
Bring up the team of the week side by side.
Yeah.
We'll show you.
Yeah.
Let you know who won, and then compare it to ours. Probably the same as mine. We're good.
So keep watching.
That's another episode of the Netball Chat with Sam
and Zach. See ya.
I did rewind it to you again. Because
are you sure she's not talking about Chelsea Pittman?
Maybe Chelsea needs a bit of these ones. That was just so good.
Yeah, and I was also concerned about my tips with that game because what? Well, because why are you not? I was the first time ever that I was concerned about my tips because stop it. Because because I said the Magpies would win, so it's the first time I've gone against the Firebirds and run the whole. Yeah. Anyway, luckily. Okay. The first half of the game, it was odge bodge bagotch because Mawani.
Thumbs up,
Mawani.
Cloud. Just dominant Cloud. Remember how we talked about Sterling last week? Just absolutely dominating. I don't know what's wrong, but the shakes, I'm just excited.
Well, sorry. Too much nipple.